This video is about the 5 knives I've used most in the last year or so. It's not a review of my favorite knives, nor the most unique or expensive knives. Just knives that I use for everyday tasks. So let's go inside and take a closer look at my 5 most used knives. Hello and welcome back to Blade Insider, where we talk about all things knives. In today's episode, I was inspired by recent videos from other knife reviewers on knives they most use. And I thought it would be interesting to share my 5 favorite used knives with my viewers. But before we get into that, I want to remind you to subscribe to our channel. New subscribers help support our community and help out the channel. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications of our new videos. First, let's establish a few ground rules for this video. This episode is not about my 5 favorite knives or knives that are the most unique or expensive. It's about the knives that I use most on a daily basis for the past year or so, given the fact that I was laid up with COVID for most of that year. These are knives that I reach for on a daily basis and use as tools. All are unique to a specific job or task. Some are just fidget friendly and fun to use, some are just practical, but all are heavily used in my household. Since this isn't a review video, I'm not going to grade these knives on our typical 5 grading categories. The only criteria to get on this list is how much I actually use the knife. So let's go to the bench and take a closer look at my 5 most used knives. First up is the Spyderco Ladybug. This is such a great keychain knife. You can deploy the blade with one hand and the ergonomics allow for a 2 1/2 finger grip. There is nice jimping on the spine of the blade to hold your finger in place. The blade is clip point with a nice flat grind. It's very slicey. This particular metal on the blade is K390, but they come in all different sorts of steels. The handle material is lightweight FRN and weighs only 0.54 ounces. What I like about this knife is that it can be opened and closed with one hand, and it's very small and lightweight. It fits easily within my pocket and will even connect magnetically to my wallet, so the knife is always with me when I need it. The blade shape makes it very useful for opening mail and boxes and other light-duty tasks, but the knife will not break down any large cardboard boxes. Next is a Leatherman Wingman. This knife is always in my knife maintenance kit and gets used a lot. The Wingman sits next to my Leatherman Wave Plus, which also gets used a lot, but that is mostly my toolbox replacement tool. When I just need a cutting tool, I find myself getting out the Wingman more than the Wave Plus. It's just a little more convenient to get out and use. When I pull out the Wingman, I use it primarily for 4 jobs. It's a knife, easy one-handed deployment with a blade that locks in place. It's half serrated, so it's easy to cut string and light rope with. The blade length is 2.6 inches, which is good enough for opening a box or other light task. The blade material is stainless 420 HC steel. The next tool I use on the Wingman an awful lot are the scissors. They deploy and lock in place like the blade and are just the right size for most cutting jobs. These scissors differ from other Leatherman models, including the Wave Plus, because they spring open, which allows for a nice cutting action. They come in handy when you find yourself needing a pair of scissors. Of course, the needle nose pliers are always handy for that odd task. And again, the pliers on the Wingman differ from other models because they're spring loaded. This makes them easier to use with one-handed operation. Finally, the package opener. This is a tool to open those blister packages. Using knives on those packages can be dangerous to your fingers if you're not paying attention. The package opener is an easy and safe way to open up those plastic packages. All in all, it's a very handy tool and one of the top 5 that I've used this year. My go-to heavy-duty knife is a Cold Steel Master Hunter. This is a fixed blade in Kydex sheath. The sheath works well and fits snugly with the knife. I ended up modifying the sheath and adding paracord. It gives it a nice look and it's practical if I ever need cord while camping. The blade handle is made of craton, which is a rubberized material with a checkered feel to it, but it never rots, mildews, or cracks in the cold. The blade is 4.5 inches long and 3/16 inches thick. The blade material is similar to VG10, made in Sanmai, Japan. The blade style is drop point, which is a good blade geometry for piercing and cutting tasks. VG10 was developed by Takfu Specialty Steels in Japan. VG10 is common to Japan as 440C steel is in the US. It has roughly the same toughness and corrosion resistance as S35VN steel. VG10 is easy to polish because it has no vanadium carbides in it. From experience, I can get this edge razor sharp with a mere polish. I use this knife for all of my heavy duty tasks, from cutting down boxes to opening mulch bags. This is a go-to knife. The ergonomics are great on this knife and it feels great in the hand. This knife also goes with me camping and handles all the jobs at the campsite. Everyone needs a good fixed blade as one of their top 5 used knives. The 4th knife on the list is a Microtech Ultratech. If I'm being honest with myself, it's on this list because it's a lot of fun to fidget with. The one-handed deployment and the blade shape lends this knife towards heavy use. This is a bronze apocalyptic version with the 3.375 inch DE blade shape and the CTS 204P blade material. The handles are 5 inches long and made of aluminum. It has a nice size to it and will slice open envelopes and boxes with ease. Over the past year or so, I found this knife to be on my desk, ready to be used constantly. Honestly, I didn't carry it much in the pocket because of the uncertainty of knife laws in my state, but OTFs are really fun to use and very practical around the house. Finally, the last knife on this list is the ZT0230. This is a Jens Anzo design knife and ZT's first slip joint. The handle is thin and 3.75 inches long. It's made of carbon fiber and the knife weighs 1.8 ounces. The blade is 2.62 inches long with a sheep's foot blade style. The blade is made of CPM 20 CV steel, which is generally recognized as one of the best all-purpose steels for knives. There's a couple reasons why this knife gets used a lot. First, it's thin and light. It goes easy into the pocket and doesn't take up much space. It can be deployed and closed with one hand, unlike traditional nail biter folders. And I really like the sheep's foot blade style. Admittedly, it doesn't lock up, so it's always in the back of your head when using it. But knock on wood, I haven't had any issues with it closing on me. The knife is a little different from the others because I generally keep it in an EDC leather pocket organizer from Amazon, which was about 14 bucks. I added the Fisher Space bullet pen and the drop blue titanium flashlight to it. The blue titanium looks pretty cool with the leather and the knife. This EDC case fits well in the pocket and holds the 3 items that I end up using every day. It's nice to carry into the office and won't freak out any of your coworkers. Well, those are the 5 most used knives over the past year or so. I think it's a good broad list of different types or categories of knives to handle different jobs you may run into. They also run the spectrum of different price points. The Ladybug and Leatherman are about $60. The Coast Steel is about $120, and the ZT-0230 with case and accessories is just north of $200. The Microtech Ultratech is north of $300. Now these go on sale all the time, and you can get significant discounts on them. Well, what do you think of my list? And more important, what are the 5 knives you use most? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I really enjoy reading your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and bash that like button. Well, that's it for this episode. Remember to be responsible, be respectful, and be happy. We'll see you next time.